Welcome yet again to yet another episode of the Beard Owl Podcast, the podcast about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And I feel like right at the jump, I need to just disclaim to people that can crack was just sparkling water. That was a cranberry lime polar seltzer that I will be enjoying today, but I like the can crack anyway, but I didn't want to be disingenuous about it.
Because honesty is important.
Honesty is important. You know, we're as transparent as we possibly can be at the Beard Owl Podcast, you know, within decency. Anyway, we are wrapping up our series on the album Even Worse. I feel like we've been doing this entire year because we have.
Long, drawn-out weeks.
Yeah, that's just many long, drawn-out weeks. And as we do over here, to wrap up aside, I am joined by Insane Ian. How are you?
That is me. I am good. I'm in the midst of being a busy person doing music things.
Whoa.
That's, my normal thing that I do. But it's good. I'm also in the midst of chairing the Logan Awards right now. So
yes.
The Logan Awards are you've been a juror for us once before. We are in the jury process right now, and I'm making sure our jurors are on task voting for the best comedy songs of 2025. Yes, it is 2026. Obviously, that's the way awards work.
Yes.
The year's awards are usually for the previous year's releases.
Yes.
So that's what they're working on right now. Already week one into the voting, and one of our jurors has already gone through all of the entries and given me their top picks already, which is very nice of them. We had a lot more entries this year, 135 nominees. And that was even after culling the herd of things that were ineligible. It was a big year this year, and one of our jurors is going to Dragon Con and is like, I need to get this done. So they burned through everything, so I appreciate the effort.
Yeah, I will tell you, having done the whole juror thing, it's a time commitment, to really give each piece its due. You can't fake that. You have to listen, you have to understand, you have to pay attention, you have to look at stuff with a critical eye. And so yeah, I could see wanting to get that done before going to Dragon Con.
Absolutely. And I'm very thankful that they did. We've got a great team of jurors this year, but also in the midst of all of, me organizing all of that, I'm also in the midst of doing promotion for my own songs. I just released a new song on the Fump. The song technically was released in March on a sampler CD I put out for when I was the music guest of honor at MarsCon this year. But I hadn't released it as a single until recently, so I've got a music video out for it. It's now out on streaming, so I'm in the midst of promoting that and all sorts of other fun things.
Awesome. I think that's fantastic. Look at that. And I didn't even have to prompt you to tell me what you've got going on. You just did it.
No, I just tend to run off at the mouth about that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's why you're here. So, yeah, we're going to run through the tracks on side 2 of Even Worse and just chit-chat about it to put a pin in this whole album situation. So, side 2 kicks off with Lasagna, which is a parody of Los Lobos' version of La Bamba.
Yes.
Yeah. What are just initial thoughts about Lasagna, the song, not the food?
So this album, as a whole, I may have mentioned this the last time I was on. I refer to this album as the movie album.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm sorry, not the movie album. The movie album is Polka Party. This album is the cover album.
Yep.
It confused me for a second because La Bamba came from the movie La Bamba that had come out at the time. The featured debut of Lou Diamond Phillips as Richie Valens. It was the biopic about him and his tragic end. But also, every song that is a parody on this album, except for the lead single, is a parody of a song that was a cover. And this is no different. La Bamba is a traditional song, and then Los Lobos covered it for the movie after Richie Valens' cover. So yes, this is also the one appearance of the accordion on this album.
Yeah. For we've talked about it a lot going through this album, but this outside of the self-titled debut album. This is the only album without a polka. It's the only polka-less album, which is why I had a very hard time figuring out where to put Polka Bob on this album, but Polka Bob
Yeah.
still talked. But anyway, yeah, Lasagna, this is where the accordion gets to shine, and I think it's a fun twist on what he could have done to do this song. We in the episode we talked about how he was noodling around the idea of singing it in Italian.
Yes, I had heard. I've heard that story where he was, playing with the idea of maybe I should do this in traditional Italian since the song is originally sung in Spanish. But I think in that case, some of the jokes might not translate as well.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Taco Grande years later. Parts of that are in Spanish, but not the majority of it, obviously.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that Cheech Marin, in the middle of that song, has this whole spoken word section that he had to have written phonetically for him because he didn't speak the Spanish.
That's wild. That's wild.
It's very funny to me. Or at least that's the rumor for that story. But this song, like, also not so much that it is the only song with accordion on it, but based on the previous album's track listing, it is in the place where the polka would be.
Yeah, it's right there in the middle. Like I said, the polkas for me, and we've talked about this before, which is why I have so many beefs with the Dare to Be Stupid album. But like the polka should be somewhere in the middle, either closing side 1 or opening side 2. That's just where the polka goes. But yeah,
I'm flexible with it the same way that Al is. Sometimes it's in the middle of the album, sometimes it's the album closer. I have no problem with it being the album closer, but yes, traditionally, up to this point, this is album number 5. We got used to more albums having it in the middle than had it at the end.
Yes. I mean, again, it's just one of my things. I was like, man, I don't like going out on a polka. I like the polka in the middle to keep it going. But yeah, so like this is, the accordion shows up like right when it's supposed to show up. And I'm now just realizing the song is called Lasagna. And I earlier said he was noodling around the idea. And I didn't even...
I let that one hang for you. Yeah, you're
I didn't even do that on purpose.
I wasn't sure if it was intentional, but I was like, yeah, noodles and lasagna. That I'm just gonna let that one go.
This whole song's about noodles. Actually,
it is.
So, one of the things that my husband and I do is we have a local Facebook group about food and drinks and things to do in the Jacksonville area, and we had somebody go off on us once. We had gone to get Italian food. And somewhere in the review recap of it, my husband called whatever, I think I got like spaghetti or something, and he called them noodles. And somebody went off in the comments about how, no, these aren't noodles, this is pasta.
But pasta is noodles.
This is what I'm saying. And so I'm like, man, what are you doing? Why this? Why this?
Why is this the hill you choose to die on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. But as far as a song goes, as a parody goes, going back to Lasagna, this is Garfield's favorite song. But yeah, no, this is a very fun parody, and it is a parody that plays with the original, the composition of the original, the arrangement of the original, because he is not just inserting accordion into it, but the instrumentation is obviously not exactly as it was in the Los Lobos version. It is similar, but he plays with the arrangement a lot and kind of adds more things to it.
Yeah.
To make it, for lack of a better way of describing it, more Italian.
Yes, to make it more Italian.
Yeah. So, it's one of those parodies that plays with the arrangement more than most of Al's parodies do, because usually in his parodies, he tends to stick very closely to the original arrangement. And because, we're taking a Spanish song and making it about Italian things instead, he has kind of flipped that in and pushed that parody further in its arrangement.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool, and it's really fun, and it's still, a tip of the hat to the fact that it's a traditional song. He's just doing a different tradition.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Ah, but unless you had anything else about lasagna, we can move right along to Melanie.
One of my favorite original songs. Melanie continues the tradition of what we like to call "Love Gone Wrong" for Al. Uh, it is the original stalker song from Al. It is it is Al's version of "Every Breath You Take."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I buy that.
Ironically, not the police pastiche that's on this album.
Right. Right, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, this song, it's a favorite of mine. It absolutely is. I just think it's so funny. The and we'll talk a little bit more about this, excuse me, later on in the album too. But the juxtaposition of the way the song sounds with what the lyrics are doing,
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
fantastic.
This is the pumped up kicks of its day.
Yeah,
But the beauty thing about this song is the elevation of the joke. And that's, when you're talking about song structure and writing comedy songs, this is like a prime example of taking a heightened situation and just moving it to its most extreme outcome. When you talk about writing comedy songs, sometimes a lot of comedy song writers work on the rule of three, because most songs have a 3-verse structure. And you have in the first verse, you have the introduction of the song concept. And then the second verse is the elevation of that concept, what the narrator of the song or the performer of the song is going through or describing to you from the first verse has now been elevated. And then in the final verse, that rule of three, you are taking that to its most bizarre or out there extreme of that. And this song really moves along those lines very well because Al is very good at moving things to an extreme
yes,
on the outcome of the song. And as far as comedy song structure and comedy song writing, this is just a beautiful example of that.
yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's a low threshold of weird to kind of get in and get your buy-in on it, and then it just keeps going and going and going. And by the time he jumps out from the window, we're all in on it. We're like, oh man,
Yeah. Not to have a spoiler alert for a song that we've already discussed on the show. Well, at least you have. Yes, the narrator of the song is dead at the end of the song.
Yep.
And is singing this song from the afterlife. So yeah, nothing gets more extreme than that. Our narrator has passed on. This is a ghost singing a song.
Yep. It's like, all right, okay, I got it. This is
Sure,
fantastic.
I'm on that journey with you. Here we go.
Yep, I'm right on it with you. It's one of those things, man. It's like, and this song has forever, it changed the way I think of the name Melanie. Like every Melanie I meet, I will remember her name. Like I absolutely will. Like
Melanie, there are so many great lines in this song, and I go through your garbage just to learn more about you.
Yep.
Is a great line. I actually lifted that wholesale for my song about stalking. If you're wondering if I'm stalking you, I'm stalking you. Parody of if you're wondering if I want you to, I want you to by Weezer. Because I wanted to put an homage to Al in that song, and especially this song by Al. But there's so many great lines and so many great hooks in this song. The just the chorus of Melanie is just, what can your problem be? It's such a simple rhyme. It's such a great little hook to it, and many people have recognized that on the very first Weird Al tribute album, Prosthetic Lips. The album opens with a parody of this song called Yankovic. And it like them. It's a group with multiple lead singers, so they hit the harmonies on the opening Yankovic really beautifully,
That's
and
great.
it's a testament to how well this song is written, to how well that version sounds.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like the circle of that.
Absolutely.
Doing a parody of Weird Al. It's
Yes.
it's just a
Yes.
delight.
There's many people who have done that. Steve Goody has done it multiple times.
Yep. I just love that those things exist. It's like, okay,
100%. It's always weird to do a comedy song as a parody of another comedy song, but to do it well is really where the kudos should come in.
yeah, oh for sure. It's you're putting a funhouse mirror up to another funhouse mirror. Like, what's that going to be?
That is a very apt description.
But yeah, Melanie's a fun one. Just love
Melanie
it.
was one I always wanted to have a music video for, and we never got.
Yeah. Well,
I always thought it should have been a single. It is kind of long for a single. It is one of the longest songs on the album. Not the longest, but it comes in at just under 4 minutes.
yeah.
It is the third most longest song on the album. Of course, Stuck in the Closet with Vanna White is the winner there.
Yeah.
But Stuck in the Closet, almost a 5-minute song, unheard of from Al up to that point.
Yeah. It's great though. We talked about it because that's on side one, but man, that's just a solid rock song and it deserves
It
to be as long as it is.
It's a great tune.
Yep. But yeah, Melanie, fantastic. Love it. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And that's followed up by the last parody on the album, which
Yes.
is Alimony. It's a parody of Billy Idol's version of Mony Mony. And not only a parody of Billy Idol's version of Mony Mony, but it's a parody of the quote end quote live version of
Yes.
Mony Mony, which it had to be.
Yeah, 100%, because that was the more popular version that was being played at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you were saying, I was going to bring it up too. This is the last parody on the album. There's only this is an 11-track album with 5 parodies. You'd think the parodies would normally outnumber the number of originals, but this time the originals outnumber.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no polka. So after this, we kind of lose the structure of a normal Al album where it is parody, original, parody, original.
Yeah.
And that is because on the we'll get into it, but as far as the song itself, this is just a silly, fun song.
Yeah. I love it's the perfect topic to parody Billy Idol to because
I mean, you have White Wedding, and why not have a song about divorce?
right, exactly. That and it's one of the few Al topics where that anger and sneer makes sense,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
100%. You can see his lip curling through the entire song.
yes, you can. Yes, you can. And it's just so funny. Like all of the little twists on, just general trope statements that people, talk about,
Yeah.
she took the nest and nest egg and she took the nest,
The nest, yeah.
just all of those things. It tried to squeeze in
Got
blood.
the money and the home is what that line is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. To try to squeeze blood from a stone. Like it's just so funny.
Making rhymes happen where rhymes shouldn't happen. Yes, a very big comedy song trope, and I love all the tropiness of this too, because this is one of those songs where Al is obviously not writing from experience.
Right.
He's broken up with people, but he had never been married before this song, not till many years after this song, and thankfully that marriage is still going. But this is one of those songs where he's not writing from lived experience. He's writing specifically from all the tropey things, all of the stereotypical things one would say about divorce, or what, a lot of, in lesser hands, hack comics have even said about, went back in, this is from the 80s. So you had a ton of stand-up comics doing, oh, I hate my wife kind of material.
Oh gosh,
And,
I know.
So this is kind of running with that gag, but on the extreme version of it, where clearly that has reached its logical conclusion of divorce.
Hmm.
So it's building on tropes and setting it to this extremely rocking, sneering, snarky song.
Yep. I just think it's fantastic. It's the first time I heard this song, I literally had to because I'm a kid. I don't know what alimony is.
Yes, same.
I had to I'd be like, what is that? I don't understand. Oh, okay. So you Weird Al teaching us all
Absolutely.
the things.
Yeah, hey, we have a new word added to our lexicon.
Yep.
So, as children listening to this song.
Yep. It's same deal as it's several albums away, but The Night Santa Went Crazy. That's how when I learned what a Gentile is. I'm like, all right. I was like, I don't know what that means. I had to ask.
As a Gentile myself who played a Jew on Broadway, I learned earlier.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's really funny though.
It's I didn't know.
Yeah.
This is
this is how you learn through experiences in life. Yeah.
Yep. That's how we're just collecting information as we hurtle through space, and it's just, where do you collect that information from, but yeah, anything else you wanted to add about Alimony, the song?
I mean, I feel like this is technically the second Tommy James song on the album, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Because while he didn't write the first one on the album, I Think I'm a Clone Now.
Yep.
I Think I'm Alone Now was performed by Tommy James, and Tommy James wrote the original Moni Moni.
Yep.
So this is technically the second Tommy James song on the album.
Yeah, and I just think that's crazy, and and then it's Got My Mind Set on You too. It's that's not Tommy James, but it's from that same time period. We've got all of these songs, that are just they happened, and then the 80s where people were just we're going to cover the stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of 50s covers happening in the 80s, and that's why I call this album the cover album.
Yep, that's because that's what was going on. That's absolutely what was going on. We are halfway through side 2, so before I forget to do it, I'm going to throw it to some ads. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Oh my goodness, those were some ads, weren't they?
They sure were ads that existed.
They certainly had a thing or a product or a service that they were advertising, and we heard it.
Yes. We really did. It doesn't mean I endorse any of it.
It's just part of the program.
It's just part of the program. But anyway, yeah, so now we're into the album. The last 3 songs are 3 pastiches. And track 9 on the album is Velvet Elvis, which is a style parody of the Police, specifically Synchronicity era Police.
Yes, exactly. Specifically Synchronicity era Police. You've got that kind of jangly reggae rhythm going in the backing there. Just super, super fun. Super, kind of a weird topic for a song, but it is Weird Al, so what do you expect? But it is kind of this is ultimately it is about a man's obsession. But the fact that he's obsessed with a velvet painting of Elvis Presley is that's kind of unique.
Yeah.
That's kind of different. You don't hear about that much. It's not something you would hear about on the news normally, at least not in the 80s,
right,
until tabloid TV became more of a thing. But this is definitely one of those niche Al songs, but definitely has a lot of its fans. I don't remember if he played it on the Vanity tour, but I feel like when he has played this song live, it does get a good response.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It was one of those that really had to. It wasn't one of my favorites as a kid, but it's one of my favorites now.
This was another one where I was like, I don't know what a Velvet Elvis is, but this song is fun for me, so whatever.
Yeah, I just love the way that it sounds. He totally nailed the that whole police vibe from the Synchronicity album. Like it's
At
just
100%.
it's just so perfect, you know, and like lyrically, like you were saying, what a weird thing, you know, because it's really not it's nothing special, you know. They're
Yeah,
all over
exactly.
the place, you know, all this, that, and the other. But then, you know, kind of look at the police and Synchronicity in general too. Like you've got the song Synchronicity 2, which is like a guy being frustrated with how mundane his life is,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And so this kind of plays into a guy being obsessed with something very simple,
Yeah.
you know? And it's fortunately it's big enough to cover up that hole in the wall.
Yeah, which is just the best line.
Yeah.
This song is great because it really is Al just flexing weirdness.
Yep.
And playing on the idea of a guy obsessed with something that is honestly pretty mundane, because they were so prevalent, because they were so, you know, oft seen.
Yeah.
So, you know, it flipping on those things and playing with the weird dichotomy of the two ideas is something Al does very well and does a lot. But this one is you know, he just does it very well.
Yes.
And this showcases that. This is the second longest song on the album.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it drags. It doesn't feel like it's a long song.
Right.
Because he's squeezing so many jokes into it now, and that's one of the things he is able to do in a original song is, you know, if you have a lot of jokes, you can make the song as long as you want. Look at Albuquerque. But yeah, no, this is a song that's playing with the format of the pastiche, and it's playing with the format of that particular album's themes and whatnot, especially like you said with Synchronicity 2, the song, and just like working an opposite version of that, like again another Funhouse mirror thing.
Yeah, oh for sure. And you know, you can't forget the fact that many Velvet Elvis paintings are just objectively terrible. Like,
well, painting on velvet is not, you know, the best medium.
The best medium. No, and it's just like some of them are just like really, really bad. But you see a couple of good ones floating around.
Sure. I mean, it's not, you know, they're not without their merit. It's just because they were so popular that you got so many, and the quality diminished over quantity.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. There was a they've since closed, but we used to have a tiki bar here that had, you know, it was all kind of done up as a tiki bar is wont to be, but one of the like little alcove areas was just completely decorated with Velvet Elvis paintings, and it was hilarious. Like we would always try and sit in there just to be surrounded by varying degrees of Velvet Elvis. It was just like, it was a lot. It was a whole lot.
Earlier this year, we went to Dr. Demento's retirement party because he ended his show in October of last year, and then so a bunch of people who have been played on the show, myself included, got to go out to California to celebrate Barry's birthday as well as his retirement. And it was a huge party of like 150 people all crammed into this bar in LA. Well, not Los Angeles, I think was actually up in Long Beach. But we're all crammed into this bar, and I'm not sure if they were actually painted on velvet, but they had velvet style paintings of like Lemmy from Motorhead and Sleestaks from like Land of the Lost.
Oh wow.
And I think like Joey Ramone, and like so like they had these you know, velvet style paintings of like punk musicians and then like weird minutia. So it was a really cool bar. I cannot remember the name of it, unfortunately. But it was a cool event, and also to be surrounded by all of that was very unique and fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that sounds fun. It's like, you know, you're used to Elvis being either Elvis or Jesus or John F. Kennedy.
Right.
Those are the three. But
The Holy Trinity, if you will.
If you will. I mean, in some homes for sure. I was my husband is a huge Elvis fan, and I wanted desperately for his last birthday to get him a Velvet Elvis painting. You know, they are either like ridiculously expensive now, or like the ones that you find that are like anywhere near affordable are like the bad ones.
Of course.
So I was on eBay And it wasn't a Velvet Elvis, but it was like a tapestry type situation. And it looked really cool. And I was like, well, this is a decent facsimile for a Velvet Elvis, you know? So I bought it, and he has it hanging in his office now. But one thing I found out that I did not know was when he was a kid, he had that exact tapestry hung up over his bed.
Oh, wow.
And
That's wonderful.
I had no clue. And I was like, look at that. The universe just kind of said, no, this is going to be even better of a gift than you think it's going to be, because he had this before.
This is the one. You were fated to pick this one up.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, I'm kind of glad I couldn't find a Velvet Elvis that I, wanted, because I ended up getting something better.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
That's
wonderful.
Don't you just love stuff like that? It's like, huh?
I do. It's so nice.
Yeah. Speaking of nice, Twister.
What a segue.
Thanks.
I love this song. I had always wished Al had actually done a legit Beastie Boys parody. This is as close as we get. He is doing a Beastie Boys pastiche. This is really super fun because the lyrics are technically what was said in Twister commercials for the game at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're just obviously put to a rap beat, and he's doing all three voices of the Beastie Boys.
Yes.
He's doing all three of them in this as the call and response way that they do their verses. And it's a short, fun little commercial of a song.
Yeah, and it's great. It's great. When we did the episode about it, we talked about how yes, he did do all three of the voices, but he did each one in one take, because Al was like, if I try and do this again, it's gonna sound less like the Beastie Boys. So I think that's super fun, and like after the Twister episode came out, somebody messaged me and was like, y'all made some really, really good points, but like here's another one. Like, it was around this time that a lot of companies were trying to be hip and cool and doing rap
yes.
commercials. And
oh yeah.
So that I fell down a rabbit hole of that, and I landed on the one where it's Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble rapping about Fruity Pebbles.
Oh yeah. No, I with the shades and the backwards hats, and like this is the era when you started to see T-shirts of Tasmanian Devil and Bugs Bunny with baggy jeans.
Yep.
And a b-boy stance. And yeah.
It's like, okay, that's how it's happening, but this song is great. I feel like it's the length that it needs to be for what it is, Yeah. It's funny. I just love the way it opens. Milton Bradley's got a deaf one. It's a twister.
Yes.
Twister.
Spin the spinner and call the shot. Twister ties you up in a knot. It's so good. Like I said, it is a brilliant little commercial. It is literally 60-second spot. It's 63. It's a minute 3 seconds long. But it is like, it is the prototypical radio spot that you would hear for something or a commercial. Most commercials don't run longer than a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the perfect commercial length. It was hearing that on the album, I was like, did Al get a contract with Milton Bradley? Are we going to see Weird Al in a commercial? Is that what this is? I was hoping we would see a Twister commercial that used this song. It would have been perfect. It really, it's almost not a joke.
Yeah, almost not a joke.
It's almost not a joke because, like you said, at the time, many companies were like, well, hip hop's really popular. Let's put hip hop in our commercial for our product that we're trying to sell to children.
Mm-hmm.
This almost has no jokes in it. It's just an ad for Twister. The joke is the song itself. The joke is the fact that it's a hip hop song, that it's the Beastie Boys selling you a game of Twister.
Yeah.
And I just would have loved to have seen an actual ad with this in it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then you start thinking about the fact that the way that still now, but even more so then, the way that Al is able to move his body,
Oh yeah,
that
100%.
would have been, I would not want to play Twister against him. I'll put it that way.
No. I mean, he could like putting his leg behind his head, and the way that he, can kind of like become liquid, the way that
Yeah.
he moves. Weird Al and Cats, they're both liquid.
Yeah.
It's just it's the perfect marriage of product and spokesperson.
Yeah.
Of all the things that we're hearing in the news now lately of companies approaching Al and the things that he's turned down, like he doesn't want to be connected to an AI company. God love you, Al, for that. He doesn't want to do the Rida Festival because that was sketchy and awful. Thank you, Al, for that. We go back to the thing about him wanting to, the company wanting him to sell beer back in the late 80s, early 90s. And he's like, no, I have young fans and also, Raul from Raul's Wild Kingdom. I can't remember the actor's name, but Tino. He unfortunately, that's actually not his name. I'm thinking of somebody else. Sorry. But the actor who played Raul passed away in a drunk driving accident, so Al didn't want to promote beer on that end either. All of these things that he's turned down for promotions. Why hadn't Milton Bradley, when struck when the iron was hot at this moment, this would have been the perfect marriage for him to be the spokesperson for.
Oh, I totally agree. And just so we don't have too many people screaming to themselves while listening to this podcast, Trinidad Silva.
Trinidad. I Trinidad Silva and Tino Insana. I got the names confused in my head. Tino co-wrote the authorized Al with Al, so that's why my brain went to Tino. I knew it began with a T, and I couldn't think of Trinidad Silva.
Yep.
I apologize. Rest in peace, Trinidad Silva.
Yeah.
But yes, my Al lines in my brain were crossed.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens to the best of us. There's so many of them up there. They're bound to get jumbled up.
Oh, 100. Yeah. And I keep doing the prototypical white guy podcast thing. I've noticed I've said it like 4 or 5 times now. I've gone and said 100%, 100%. And that is a thing that like people who make fun of podcasts people say, and I've been saying it like genuinely this entire podcast. And I hear myself saying it going, why am I being so stereotypical? This is weird.
That's funny. Hey, people listening, if you want to go back and start the episode from the beginning and have a counter for how many times Ian says 100%.
Make it a drinking game.
Yeah.
This is Beard Al.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. Take a drink every time Ian says 100%.
Oh my gosh. I try not to get alcohol poisoning is all I'm asking.
That's great. 100%.
See? It's kind of hard not to say it.
I know. Now
every time I see a Ryan George video about him making fun of podcasts and I go, oh yeah, they do kind of say that a lot. And then I just heard me do it like 20 times. And I'm like, ah, darn it.
I know. I fall into that too. Like when I'm teaching, I notice that one of my teaching tics is what I like to call them when I'm teaching my classes. I'll say something and then I'll go, does that make sense?
Right.
I have been trying to stop myself from saying that because of course it makes sense. I'm like, why am I questioning this? But yeah, so Twister, super fun. And we move on to the final track of the album. Good Old Days, which is a style parody of James Taylor and that genre of folk music.
This was, I don't remember if it was before this or after this that Al was asked to fill in for James Taylor on The Tonight Show. Do you know that story?
No, go tell it.
Okay, so Al had, for a long time, and this was Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. Al had for a long time wanted to be on The Tonight Show, wanted to perform on The Tonight Show. And James Taylor was supposed to perform on The Tonight Show, and at the last minute had to cancel.
Okay.
So The Tonight Show reached out to Al and asked him if he would want to appear on The Tonight Show. But what they wanted him to do was perform James Taylor's I've Seen Fire and I've Seen Rain. They wanted Al to come on The Tonight Show and do a straight cover of James Taylor's most popular song, since James Taylor wasn't able to make it. And yes, the idea kinda is funny, but Al was like, "Well, I would really I have an album to promote. I would like to, come on to actually do one of my songs," and turned it down, and then was never asked to be on the Tonight Show again in Johnny's run.
Oh,
So like, he's always I don't know if he's felt like that, but like this has been said in some of the articles I've read about this. Like, he felt like maybe he actually should have taken it, because after that he was never asked again. So it was like one of those things, like you want the respect of Johnny Carson. He was the king of late night at the time, so
right.
it's an interesting story to me, and like I don't remember if it happens before or after or even during this album's run. So like, the fact that he ends this album with a James Taylor pastiche, kind of makes that story kind of a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's wild. I hadn't heard that. And I
Yeah.
couldn't find when it was happening either. The internet was like, "Oh yeah, that's a thing that happened," but wouldn't tell me when. So, yeah, I love this song.
Alas.
This plays into like what you were talking about with Melanie, that rule of 3,
Oh, yeah.
it just escalates and escalates. Like it doesn't start off super bad. But it gets
No, it's
pretty bad.
this isn't part of the Love Gone Wrong era of songs. It is more about, I mean, there is some Love Gone Wrong elements into it. Well, not really Love Gone Wrong. Love shouldn't have happened. This is more of what if James Taylor was a sociopath? Let's just call it that. Because
Right.
the singer of this song, obviously not James Taylor, but done in his style, the singer of this song is a sociopath. Like, he's ripping the wings off of flies, and this is like, this is at the time the prototypical serial killer behavior.
Mhm.
Although he doesn't actually commit any, I'm gonna show that I'm on YouTube, unalivings, but he does a lot of like really creepy things. This is like a cousin to the guy from I Remember Larry.
Yeah. Well, also, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't he kill good old Mr. Fender?
You're right. He does actually commit an unaliving. I forgot.
Yeah. You should should have seen the look on his face.
Yeah. I forgot that he he straight up murks good old Mr. Fender.
Yeah.
Wow. It has been a little bit since I've listened to this song. You know what? Yeah, this guy's problematic.
Yeah, super problematic, because then it's like, I mean, we're kind of left with questions, about Sweet Michelle.
I mean, he's left Sweet Michelle in the middle of the desert. Oh, sometimes I can still hear her screams. This guy's a sociopath. This guy is psychotic. But the dichotomy of this guy committing these horrible acts so nonchalantly and set to this, lilting folk song about the good old days when he was younger doing these awful things. It's, this is that weird dichotomy of Weird Al dark humor.
Yep.
This is like Al likes to go dark on a lot of songs, and this is one of the darkest up to this point. And it having it offset with the kind of cheerful 12-string guitar folk song of James Taylor really kind of like sets it into like an era of its own.
Oh, for sure. It's this was the most recent episode prior to this, so like the conversation is very fresh in my head. And one of the things we touched on is that it's like he's looking back on these terrible things with such like nostalgia and reverence.
He's wistfully
Yes.
looking back on these. These were the good old days.
Yes.
It's gotten bad since then. you don't know, he could be writing this on a letter in a cell. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you would hope he is.
You would hope.
But you know, like maybe that's the music video for this song is like, you know, the camera pulls back and it's a dude in solitary confinement, you know, thinking back to the good old days of, you know, before he got caught.
Right, before he got caught. Yeah. I love this song so much. I love the version of it that he did on the Tiny Desk concert. It's just fantastic. And like, you know, the people in that room, I guarantee that more than half of them hadn't heard this song before, because if you watch that, there are people like they're listening, they're enjoying themselves, and then you see faces start to drop. They're like, "Oh my God, what?"
Yes. It's brilliant because it is kind of a quote unquote deep cut for Al. Obviously, we've all heard it, and you know, it I think he played it on the Vanity tour.
He did.
But you know, which was the tour for deep cuts. But you know, for the Tiny Desk audience, that was there, this was something they had not heard. They were not as familiar with this song as they were the big hits that he was playing. So their reaction is the kind of thing as a comedy musician you want to catch them by surprise and go, "What the hell am I listening to now?" That is just brilliant, and also ironic that you mentioned that today, because today Weird Al and his band are recording another Tiny Desk concert.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I saw, I think it was Steve posted on Facebook another Tiny Desk recording, and it was him in Bermuda in the picture. So yes, today as we record this podcast, they are recording a Tiny Desk concert.
Wow. Well, that delights me to no end. I can't wait.
Yes, I'm very excited for it as well.
Do you know the turnaround time on Tiny Desks?
I do not, unfortunately.
Well, now
that is a fun sentence, but
do you know the turnaround time on Tiny Desks?
With no context, that is an amazing sentence. All right.
And put that on a bumper sticker, right?
Right.
People are like, "What? What are they talking about?" Yeah, this song is it's just wonderful. And you know, the reason I mentioned that, like, he absolutely did do it on the Vanity tour, on the episode before, and I don't know if you caught wind of this. There was a terrible take that some reviewer in Wisconsin had posted after going to see the concert.
I think I may have heard about this, but I don't know if I've actually read it, but I think I've heard some of the blowback about it.
Yeah. Nathan Rabin even wrote like a response to it, you know, and we covered that pretty in depth on the last episode. So people, if you haven't listened to that, listen to that, because we talk about it. And we came away with yet another great catchphrase for the show. Yeah, Linda. Because it's like,
that's great.
Tell me you don't understand what this man is doing without telling me you don't understand what this man is doing.
It's like the people who missed the meaning on Trigger Happy.
Yeah. Oh, I love Trigger Happy.
Yeah, but that's a different album. We'll get into that.
We will get there when we get there, for sure. It'll probably be like 2028 or something at this rate. But
who knows?
I'm keeping myself busy. I was gonna say employed, but this is not that.
No.
I don't make any money from this. The ads literally just mean that this doesn't cost me money.
Right, exactly.
Oh Lord,
keeping me employed in fun.
Yeah. I'm up to my eyeballs in fun. Anything else you wanted to add? Because we covered side 2.
Yeah, I mean, as far as sides go, it is a unique one because there's 6 songs on this side, and only 2 of them are parody.
Yeah. 2. Yep.
And we get through the parodies pretty quickly. We end with 3 originals in a row.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, kind of unheard of on an Al album, because like I said, the structure is usually parody, original, and the polka tends to fit in the realm of, it tends to fit in the slot of parody, even though it is technically a cover.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, parodies, you're playing the original music. This one is the original music, just done polka style.
Yep.
Since there is no polka on this album, there was no space for it. Side 1 ends with a parody. Side 2 begins with a parody. Again, that's doubling up on those
Mm-hmm.
technically, because if you're listening to it on a CD,
Yep.
instead of flipping the sides of the tape or the vinyl, that's 2 parodies in a row. And that was this structure. It was kind of unheard of for an Al album up to this point. And so ending with the 3 originals strung together, um, it's just something unique to me. It's not like good or bad. It's just something that, something I took notice of.
Yep.
This is not, it seems like he didn't have enough from pop culture to pull from at the time, but that's not really the case. He has the same number of parodies that he would on any album. It's just that he didn't have the polka there to kind of offset the numbers.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great album. Front to back.
This was one of the first albums I remember like really trying to find once I actually first discovered Al. And like one of the first albums I was really like, oh, now I really need to find when this album comes out. And I was, a friend of my dad's was like, oh, this new album is coming out. Even Worse is coming out very soon. And I was like, oh, now I have to get this. And I think I may have gotten it like shortly after it had just come out. So
it's great. I love. Yeah. Yep. That's what you got to do. You got to keep yourself up in that fresh Al business.
Yeah, man. I was a kid then, and so like I didn't know when albums came out. I just thought they appeared in the ether.
Yeah.
And I had all the previous things that I was like diving into. This was the first album where I was like kind of like cognizant of, oh, it's coming out soon. It's not a thing that already exists.
Yep. But it's gonna be coming out soon. Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably a Tuesday.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that at the time, and then I worked in a music store after that. So
yep. So yeah, this has been side 2 of Even Worse. Ian, you did a whole unprompted spiel about all of the wonderful things that you're doing at the beginning. But is anything else you want to add at the end before we release the people to go about living the rest of their lives?
I'm sorry, I need a napkin first because that unprompted was just dripping with sarcasm. Yeah. So yes, obviously I myself am a comedy musician under the name Insane Ian. The hero worship is very obvious with the name. If you want to hear any of my music, it's at insaneian.bandcamp.com, or you can check out my videos at youtube.com/insaneian. Every week I go over and react to new or new to me comedy music from other performers, but I also post music videos there. Also, you can find me on streaming sites everywhere with my brand new song, The Last Straw, Cool Guys, everywhere you stream music. There's also a music video for that up as a short on my YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram and every other things at InsaneIanB, and all sorts of other cool things like that there.
Fantastic. Beautiful. Yeah. So thank you again for being here.
100%. 100%.
No, 100%.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
100%. Just got to get those last ones in there.
Oh, quick, people, don't die.
Making sure I wasn't saying it and then just throw them in at the end.
Just pile them on.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. All right. Well, folks, this has been Even Worse. And we're going to have a couple of things occur before we jump into tackling the beautiful thing that is the UHF soundtrack and other things.
One of my favorites.
It's great stuff. Great stuff. So I'm excited about it. And anyway, as we like to end the show now, be kind, bring joy, repeat. Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.